Alright, that should be streaming. Today, on this one, we're going to go ahead and do the belts. I've decided to do the belts first. We're going to do the brakes after the belts. Previous video, we checked the belts, and we could see a split on this belt. The alternator, water pump, and AC belt has a break where it's starting to peel off. So we definitely need belts. I'm going to go ahead and try to force this alternator to roll up. Rolling, it's just get it to move. Sometimes if you rely on that, not that you're gonna be able to see anything with that. Really can't see anything down there, can you? It's really tough. It's really tough to do these things. We're looking at that belt straight down there. We're going to have that belt right there. Again, gonna have to try to rely on the hat camera for this one. I'll hopefully get it in view, but I won't be able to see it underneath. I believe this, the wrench I want is going to be 14. Maybe the 12. Put the 12 and the 14 right here. It's going to be one of the two. I'm going to try wrenches first. Yeah, let's get some sockets. I crawl under it twice. Use this one. Use this ratchet. Go ahead and grab the 14 shallow. 14 deep. Over there too. So we can go underneath there and see if we can get that tensioner bolt to loosen. Okay, I want to take this off. Maybe tool for that. Checking the sound because I'm going to be rolling around on the ground. If the sound doesn't get kicked out. I got 10mm. Got an extension too. Nice. Knew I hit something. Alright, so I'm going to take the splash shield out next to get some better view and access. Take that off, you gotta take all these little bolts right here out. Both of these. Take that. I can still need to leave you. It goes. Extensions. So I'm not using any bolts. Go ahead and put that on top of the plate. Root it there and then root it there. This thing's coming down. See if we can move this thing up and out of the way enough. Like this. Keep it in. Leave that like that until our belts are done. So we took this belt off already. We're going for this bolt. Hopefully you guys can see this. There's a bolt right here. And this little spot right here. So what I need to do is I need to turn this here. Now what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the belt without putting my finger here. I'm up here enough where I'm not jamming my finger up in there. I'm just pulling it enough to bring this into the window. And now I'm in the window here and I can feel the bolt that's right here. Alright? And my thoughts are that it's probably a 14, but I could be off, and it could be a 12. And I bet you it is 12 because I got everything else but. No, it's a 14. Different manufacturers will use different size bolts for stuff. Toyota's big on 12 millimeters and 14 millimeters. Hopefully I can get in here with this. If not, I'm going to have to find some other fancy way of getting in here. Not quarter inch, 2 inches is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. Alright, there we go. Now, on the loosen, I have to loosen this bolt. And now, I don't know if I need to loosen the top bolt. There's a top bolt too. That may or may not need to be loosened, just like that alternator didn't need to be loosened because they have it located on some bushings. I'm going to take this out because we need to. Yeah, there we go. So again, I'm grabbing the belt and I'm pulling on it. It's convenient. The belt is still on there because you can use it to leverage it out of your way. And now it's out of the way. I'll go ahead and unhook the belt, pull it off the pulleys. Now that belt is out. Nice and easy. Not bad at all. Okay. Roll out the car. Now the next part, grab the new belts. Alright, these belts cost my neighbor, I should say. It was $14.99 for this belt, which is your Alternator AC water pump belt, and $8.99 for the steering belt. Now, because I went and got brake rotors and brake pads, I brought the price up. I don't remember how much it was. You can see all the discounts. I then put the discount code in, which then allowed me to get 20% off the entire order, which then took 20% off of this and 20% off of this, which then gave you decent prices for decent parts. These are decent parts. These are CarQuest brands. We call them the Weaver Ever, but they come from a quality manufacturer. These are the good pads. These aren't the cheap ones. These have the anti-squeal things. It comes with compound for lubricating everything. So these are definitely the better pads. These pads, this is for $46.99, but with the 20% discount, took almost $10 off. So it was only about $10 more than the cheap pads without a discount. But the cheap pads didn't come with those sliders, those metal sliders we have to replace that are no good. Okay, first thing I like to do before I put a belt on is check the sizing, make sure it's at least close. My new belt, I'm hoping, is going to be at least a little shorter than my old belt. And it is. So that looks like it's going to fit just fine. So I know that belt is good. Let's check the other belt while we're doing this. Let's check the other belt before we go ahead and do this, and hopefully it's right. Again, taking the belts, pairing them together, and they look like the right size. Put the new belt here, put the old belt over here. Set the old parts aside. Something you do as a professional mechanic is you never throw away the parts, so you know whether or not the customer wants to see them or not. Now he knows. My friend and neighbor knows. These belts are crappy. But I was going to say, you might not want to see the old parts. Alright, so put these two pry bars underneath with me. Put this one underneath me. Because I need to get this belt tight somehow. And I keep saying, on a lift, it's a lot easier. On a lift, you have all the room in the world for the biggest pry bar you can find. Hold on. See what we can do. We got it. Got away. Let's take that. So, this part looking to me is through here. In here, making sure the belt is running true and straight. Now we're going to try the bigger pry bar because I'd rather use that. Yeah, just get in here. Try to suck it out. Make sure that we're running true. What I mean by true is that we're running in the groove, and we are. And we're going to go ahead and get this on here in the direction of tighten. Go ahead and get this turned a little bit, it looks like, so I gotta rotate this just a tear. Like that. I'll tell you what, when I'm grabbing it and turning it, not only am I pulling the belt and the power steering pulley, I'm also moving the crank pulley, which is how you check to see if your belt is tight enough, is by seeing if you can move it with the belt. And I can. So it's nice that they keep the tension on the upper. I'm just going to snug it down. Now it's not tight, I'm just snugging it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and give it a little extra. While it's on tension, I'm going to go ahead and put this down. So, now, here's the thing with this type of belt. As soon as I start this engine up, it's going to stretch. I'll check my deflection, see if it's tighter. So what could happen is in a week, this belt could become loose. New belts will stretch. That's pretty good. And again, just grab the belt, take a look at your pulley, see how the crank is turning too. That means you're tight enough, it's got traction. If you moved it and it slid, then you don't have traction. So that tells me the belt is tight enough for now. But again, it's a brand new belt, so this belt has to stretch in. And it will stretch. As soon as you start the car, it'll stretch most of the way once you first start it. So maybe once we get the other belt on, we will start it up and then check them. But again, in a week, this belt may stretch enough to slip enough to make that squealing noise in case you have a belt. Now these are manual adjustments on these, meaning I gotta loosen some bolts and use a pry bar or something to add tension to the belt. You can use it manually. The auto adjusting type, you don't have to do that because it automatically takes up the tension as it stretches. So again, manufacturers do different things. Plug my USB back in for my hat camera. This allows me to run the GoPro sessions on my head just about all day. I've had this thing go. This bar tells me how much power I have. So it allows me to run the sessions practically all day, versus the hour I would get out of the sessions battery by itself. Alright, so alternator power steering, or alternator. You see now, because this belt, I just turned it around. Because this belt has this little natural loop to it, I'm going to go ahead and put it on like that because I'm going to have to loop it around. This is one of those fight with it type deals until you get it on type thing. Gotta get it down. Jam around the crank. Around the crank. Gotta go around. Gotta go around the AC. I have to go. I know you guys can't see this. I gotta go around the opposite side. of the water pump and up and around and into and onto Alternator. Now, if you look here, my belt's not in through. And you see, now I have enough room to do that. Now, when I go tightening it, I want to make sure I'm in between here on the crank pulley. I'm in between here. Bottom view. I'm in the crank pulley. I'm in the alternator. I'm around the water pump. I'm just going to check that. I'm just going to check this alternator. I'm in there. So now I can use my big old boy. And I'm going to pry against this metal part here in the block. I'm just going to bring this out. I want to be careful where I pry. This solenoid right here, this is the oil control for solenoid for the camshaft. I do not want to pry on that at all. As you see, I'm clearing that against the block down there, and the alternator right there, and I'm just going to give it a tug. And we've got a 12mm wrench. See that? I'm going to tug this back about a half an inch. And go ahead and tighten this down. Like so. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and start her up. Car is running now. Rotate the steering wheel one way. Stop. Listening for squealing. I don't hear any. All the way to the stop. Listen for the squeal. I don't hear any. I'm going to go ahead. Turn on the AC. Squeal on there. Shut it off. And I'm going to check my tensions. Still got sound. Now I'm going to check my belt tensions. Nice and tight. I'm not really worried about that one because I was able to get a good sized pry bar on that one. So underneath here, I'm going to check this one. It's getting tight right there. I feel like I probably get a little more out of this though. Let's go ahead and do that. I feel like I can get just a tad bit more. Oh, there, way over there. I just feel like I can get just a tad bit more on that one. Trying to prevent the return. On a lift, I would have been able to get that nice pull with the big long pry bar. And it would have been that nice half an inch yank from zero versus the yank it as tight as you can get it to go with the little pry bar you have. Getting the socket in here is tricky because it's just tight enough to get it in here. Just tricky enough to get it in there. Now I'm lined up. Again, when you can pull it like that, now I can get it. Just get that hands. There we go. Let's go ahead and loosen this up a little bit. Just taking a little bit of loosen on this. I'll switch my ratchet to tighten. Set it right there like that. Good. Oh, you probably broke my hand. Flip them all the way. It's tough when you do stuff on the ground. Grab this. Get a nice. Oh, there we go. Just a hair. Let's see, I'm just a hair. There we go. That feels good. That's how I want to feel, like that. I thought it was a little floppy before. This is what I felt like before we started. This is what I want to feel like now. That's good. Alright, so that belt's not going to loosen up. He should be fine. He shouldn't need to be tight in the week. That's just why I did it that way. Let's go ahead. My body in the way, it's not easy to do this. Go like that. And try to tip you back in where you belong. Tucked up on top of that, like that. Go underneath there like that. Stud, yeah, this is stud. Stud. Hard. Neck goes okay. Neck goes on there. There we go. Ready. Tapered one. So tapping, I should say, or swirl. One of the screws and a bolt goes there. And then the two bolts go here and here. And now it's impact. Snug it down. Snug it down. Okay, so we'll pop this back up in here. It spans. I'll tell you what I might need to do is I need to get some pliers. Loosen that. Pliers. Pliers don't want to use. They're linesman pliers. So I can hold it to get the screw out, the bolt out. It's a screw, it's not a bolt. Other way. That. That piece will now go up into here. This will now go up into here. Trying to hold it all together. Oh, Lord. Get it back in. Just one more time. Come on. A little flat there. Let's try it now. Oh, okay. Go on, pick this up so I don't get caught in anything, that's all. A couple different ways to fix this. This is the right way. That ain't gonna work. Let me see if I can find what I want to put up here. Somewhere. For not the bolt will work. A zip tie will work. A very big one. Let's try that one. I have a whole crop in the basement too. Of nuts and bolts. Maybe I'll put that on later. I'm gonna fix that later. I'm not gonna just do some of that. I have a myriad of zip ties and a whole box that I should bring out here, nuts and bolts. Brand new nuts and bolts. Thought maybe I had some zip ties on here, but I don't see them. So, guess I'm gonna leave it the way it is for now, and then I'll fix it in between. Sorry about that. I was hoping to find zip tie to fix that. Alright, well that's really it for the belts. We're done. Color looks funny, huh? Cables. Maybe I killed the camera. I'm surprised. It fell over. We'll have to restart the camera when we restart. We're going to end this now anyways. That's really it for the belts. Not that hard to do. Something you can do yourself. Just take your time. Be careful. Watch your fingers. Just be careful. That's all. Just be careful. Make sure the belt is tight. If it makes squealing noises, tighten it. Don't go so tight that you're breaking it either. You should have some deflection on it. Should have a little bit of deflection on it. That deflection actually tells you how tight it is. You can look up the spec. There is a spec for every belt. You get a feel for it as you do belts. I didn't look up the spec. I do have the tools for measuring how tight it is, but I didn't look up the spec, so there's no point in even trying that. That's really it for belts. Like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. We're all kind of purple reddish right now. I'm gonna see if I can fix that. Hopefully I can fix that. Otherwise, that's gonna suck. Anyway, yeah. Like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. Patreon below. Amazon links to I guess we'll do the impact that the little 3/8 impact that I'm using. Otherwise, just we just use regular hand tools. I can give a link to my Stanley set. This is Husky, but I have a variation of of wrenches that I use. I bought Stanley as a set because Stanley, Mac, Husky at the time were all made by the same manufacturer, which also made Proto, which I'm a big fan of Proto tools. So that's why I have these. Eventually tools get missing or borrowed and never returned and stuff like that, so you have to fill in spaces. I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I'd find a whole Stanley set. But Stanley is what I buy mainly for wrenches because they're a good company. They're the parent company of Proto, which I really like. The sockets I use are Proto. These are Proto. Again, all from the same manufacturer, so I guess I'll put links for those. That's really it. These parts came from Advance Auto because I needed to buy a bunch of parts over $100. I was able to use their current coupon code. If you buy it online, take 20% off, pick it up in the store, you end up saving money. If you go to the store, sometimes they do have coupons that you can scan at the store for 20% off $100. I had those before. Those are convenient, but I want to know they have them in stock. So that's why I order them online. I just pick them up in the store. It was very quick. I ordered them. I went down there, I picked them up, came back, started working again. So, I don't know how big of a gap there was between the last video and this video. Maybe a half an hour, maybe a little less. But it was pretty quick. So, if you need parts locally, you have an Advance Auto next to you. They are a parent company now of CarQuest, bought them out. So, I've used CarQuest as a professional mechanic before. So, you're getting what you get if you're using CarQuest parts. So, not a bad place. Just be careful what you buy. They do have a cheap line of stuff. They have to compete with places like AutoZone. So they do have a cheap line of stuff. So you got to be careful as to what you buy. Just make sure you buy the better stuff. We'll talk more about that in the next video. We're going to start doing the brake job. Probably in about 15 minutes. I'm going to get a drink of water. We'll clean this stuff up and start the next round and fix this camera. Hopefully fix this camera. Otherwise, we're going to have a purple brake job. Quality's good. It's just the hue is off. Looks like an old tiny black and everything. Alright, that's it. We're going to go ahead and end this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification.